Hello, I'm Cassie Faye Hayden. Welcome to my channel. Straighten myself out a little bit. So today, is another, positive thinking video. Currently for my positive thinking video, and I will get to other books eventually. Just one book at a time. One chapter at a time. Currently I am reading, this book. And it is Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. And I will put it down in the description. And we are on last time last time I read the preface. And today is part 1, chapter 1, Change Your Mind. What is attitudinal healing, which is the title of the chapter. And then it starts off with, here, I'll show you guys the pages. I will show you. Part 1, Change Your Mind. Chapter 1, what is attitudinal healing? I'm actually on chapter 2 right now because I'm trying to read the book faster than I'm reading it to you guys, so I can actually get the information before I do the video, so I know if I'm enjoying doing the videos for you guys. Because I want to actually agree with the book. If I don't agree with the book, I want to point out what things I don't agree with about the book. Yeah. And then there's another part in here which is really cute. Has a little passage on the page right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. So, it says, perhaps the biggest gift that humankind has been given is the choice to decide what thoughts and attitudes we put in our minds. That is our choice. It's also a choice of whether or not we blind ourselves to the things that are actually happening around us. And we don't want to do that either. We want to think positive, but we also don't want to blind ourselves to things happening around us and put ourselves in danger. So, while I'm reading this book to you guys, I know I've said this in the previous video, but I don't think it can be said enough, because I don't think they're grasping the concept that there are things in the world that are a danger to people. There are people in the world that are a danger to people. There isn't just your reaction to illness or your reaction to mental illness. There are genuinely people, or your reaction to everyday things that just should just be nothing more than frustrating and move on. I come from a life experience of things happening to me that genuinely do put your life and your safety in danger. Genuine situations where people intentionally have put my life and my safety in danger. So I don't think the people who wrote this book have been in such situations and understand such situations, because they're thinking along the lines of that people in the workplace just being frustrating, or people in your daily life just being frustrating, or passing away from an illness and trying to work your mind around that. Those things I understand. Yes, you should do your best to think positively in all of those situations. But we also want to make sure that we are focused and aware of the things around us in case there are people and things going on in our lives that can put our lives and our safety in danger. Because I have been there. I have. I have been in relationships where I have been locked in the house with no way to leave and tied to a bed and and attempted murdered, beat, raped, attempted murdered on a daily basis for a year and a half, which actually totaled out to be 3 years in total with this person, because they did it while I was pregnant too. So, not to the same degree, but they terrorized me the whole time I was pregnant also. Before I managed to leave them the first time. The second time, I wasn't even with them. I was basically their roommate because I had nowhere to go. And they did it to me again. Apparently, don't fucking touch me means absolutely nothing to someone who thinks that they own you because you had their kid. I'm sorry to say this, but no one owns you. It doesn't matter what relationship you have with somebody. No one owns you. No one has the right to tell you what you can and cannot do. No one has the right to abuse your mind or your body. No one. It is your mind. It is your body. Don't put up with anyone physically or mentally abusing you. Ever. Nothing in this world gives them the right. Whatever they may or may not say to you, and no matter what they may or may not say to you, it isn't your fault that they mistreat you. It never has been, and it never will be your fault. Don't put up with it. It's not okay. There's not a reason behind it, and there's no excuse for it. No one has the right to hurt you. Physically, sexually, or mentally. Don't ever allow it. Don't ever excuse it. Don't let it happen. Someone hits you, someone mentally abuses you, someone tries to rape you, you walk away. Get away from them. As fast as you can. Do everything in your power to keep them out of your life. Because no one has the right to treat you, your mind, or your body as if it is not yours. No one. No one has the right to mistreat you. Don't put up with it. But again, as I pointed out, I don't think the people in this book really understand those situations. Because so far what I've read, they don't seem to grasp the concept that there are things in this world that really are a danger to people. You know, I think really all they seem to understand of what upsets us is, you know, our own issues with death and frustrating things going on in our lives. I really don't think they understand the concept of stalkers and rapists and abusers and murderers in our lives. And I've been there. So I understand these things, and I'm telling you guys, you've got to be aware of the things going on around you so you can prevent those things from happening. Okay? You can prevent it. You can. And I mean, of course, I don't want you guys thinking that there's danger all around you and to be paranoid and scared and freaked out and all the time. I can tell, you know, when something like that is happening to me. I can tell when it's not. But after a while of having been through all of that stuff, you kind of start to sense, like, you can feel it, the vibes in a room. The vibes coming off of a person. You can tell by their body language, by the way they talk to you, by the way they look at you, by the tones they use, the things they say, the underlying things they say, and on and on and on and on and on. everything about their body language tells you everything you need to know about a person. Everything. So, you know, the more you focus on someone's body language and the way their mere presence makes you feel, like, don't just pay attention to your body language. If your body is telling you that you are uncomfortable about being around a person and you don't know why, listen to your body, because it's telling you something that even you don't know. Like, your body knows. Your body knows when somebody else is creeping on you or has bad intentions for you. So if you're feeling uncomfortable around someone, if your back stiffens up and you feel kind of a chill and your muscles tighten and you just feel kind of completely and utterly creeped out by a person and you can't for the life of you fathom why, listen to yourself, because your body knows. Your body's trying to tell you this person is not a person you want to be around. So, so keep that in mind before I even start this chapter. Keep those things in mind, because you know, even when you don't know, you know. So, I'm gonna get started on this chapter, but while I want you guys to be able to be as positive as you possibly can in your lives and use this book to your best advantage to be a happier, more peaceful person, I also want you guys to be safe, because I've been the happy, peaceful person without being safe, and it didn't make me safe. And that's what caused the anxiety and the PTSD and the social anxiety and all of those issues. Yeah. So now I am trying to re-find my peace while at the same time trying to make sure I stay safe. So anyway, I kind of grew up as, despite the fact that, like, my life has been trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma from childhood. I grew up kind of one of those happy-go-lucky, naive, trust everyone, be kind and share and love and help everyone type of person. And I used to invite people who gave me sob stories about their situations to move into my home when I lived in an efficiency apartment, and I live off of like $600 a month. And so I used to do that. I used to feel so bad for people that I would invite people into my home and let them stay with me. And they would steal all my shit. They would trash my house. They would eat all my food, make huge ass messes all over my house, with their clothes, with garbage, with dishes. And I would be eaten out of house and home. And I'd be like, hey, if you're going to stay with me, you at least need to pick up after yourself. And you need to contribute to the food, if not some of the rent and the bills. And then they'd run up my bills too, with turning the heat up constantly. So, so I've been through that a lot. And then when I asked them to help out, to clean up their own messes, clean up themselves, because some of them wouldn't shower. They wouldn't. When I asked them to help out and contribute and clean up after themselves, they threatened me, mentally abused me, and tried to physically attack me. So, as you can imagine, they got their asses kicked out real fucking quick. So, because I've been through that multiple times, and none of those times actually turning out with me making an actual friend, because they all turned out to be users trying to take advantage of me. Every single one of them, all trying to live off of me. And this was after I finally got away from every single guy I've ever been with who had tried to live off of me. Sam's not like that. he's never lived off of me. He wouldn't even try to live off of me. If anything, he does everything in his power to help me. He goes out of his way. Sometimes he buys me things that I could never afford. Sometimes he just gives me money. I mean, he goes above and beyond to help me. But, you know, every person that I've had in my life that I've allowed into my home before I met Sam has tried to take advantage of me and tried to steal from me and tried to use me and eat me out of house and home. Every single one. There were women, there were men. I was an equal opportunity helper. But it never turned out good. I always ended up being broke and having no food, having to go to food pantries to get food, to catch up on the food that somebody else ate all my food because I was trying to help them. And then got mad that I asked them to contribute. You're living off of me for free. You can at least put food in the house. Pick up your shit. Not steal mine. There was one person who came into my house and stole all my clothes. And this was a man, by the way. Stole all my clothes. Tried to tell me that he looked better in my clothes than I did. And then tried to rape me and hit me for trying to rape, for me defending myself because he tried to rape me. And then after I kicked him out of my house, he went to the neighbors and told them the sob story that I was abusing him because I hit him to get him off of me because he tried to rape me. So, yeah. And me and my boyfriend, me and Sam, have jokes about this guy because he stalked and terrorized me for several years after that. Several years. He broke into my, he broke into my house after that because he had, I moved so he wouldn't find me. And then he saw us at the mall and followed us to my house. And then started breaking into my windows into my house when I was there sleeping or when I wasn't home. I don't know what he was doing in my home when I wasn't home. Nothing was ever missing, but we found his hair in my window, and I caught him in the act of climbing in my window. But me and Sam have jokes that we make about him because he's such a weirdo that it's just beyond, like, you can't make up the kind of crap this dude pulled. Like, oh my god. I know. I love you too, Guinevere. She's trying to help. Come here, baby. So this is Guinevere. You guys have probably seen her in other videos. She's a sweetheart. She wants to help today. But anyway, this is a long chapter, so I should probably get to it. So, but yeah, no matter what I read from you guys about from this book, despite the fact that I do want you guys to be able to think positively and find your peace, use this book to have more positive thoughts and more happiness in your life. I also still want you guys to be safe and be able to keep an awareness of what's going on around you so you can maintain your safety from the kind of people that have terrorized me for about the last 2 decades. Be safe. So anyway, we start off with the book saying resistance to change. Okay. When a friend or a person at one of our lectures or workshops asks us to describe the principles of attitudinal healing, I, Jerry, as in the person who's... It's written by 2 different people, so they put their name in parentheses so you know which person writing the book is actually talking. So Jerry is the one talking. Do you mind? I am trying to do a video, sweetheart, and you are making a mess, my love. You want to help? You want to help? You want to read with me? You can help. Yeah. Yeah. You can help. I, Jerry, often think of the example of my own life and how certain beliefs that I have held in my mind came very close to destroying me. From 1925 to 1975, I have allergies. It's allergy season, and my nose is just stuffing right up for some reason. Could be because you're in my lap. Are you making me have allergies? Yeah. The first 50 years of my life, I felt that I was the victim of my own faulty attitudes and bad habits. And try as I might, I did not seem to be able to change either my very critical thoughts about myself or my behavior. I felt unlovable. Don't ever feel like that. I've been there. It's not a good feeling. Don't feel that way. Never feel unloved. Because you know what? Even if you don't think anybody loves you, I may not even know you. I may not. I don't know. I don't know who's watching. But if you're watching and I know you, I love you. And if you're watching and I don't know you, I love you. I love you. So don't feel unloved. Okay? Okay? You are loved. Don't ever feel unlovable. It's not a good feeling, and nobody deserves to feel like that. Okay. And no one could convince me otherwise. Although there was part of me that wanted to change, there was another part that strongly resisted any kind of change. I get that. I've been there. I felt that if I dared to open myself up and become vulnerable, people would find out what I was really like, ensuring that I would be rejected. I get that also because I struggle with that myself because I have severe ADHD and I am very, very annoying and people don't like it. And people kind of push me away and are disrespectful and rude and mean to me. Even people that I care about very deeply because I am annoying because of my ADHD. But thinking that way, feeling that way, it doesn't help anybody. You know, even if someone has an issue that makes them harder for certain people to deal with than others, because some people love me exactly the way I am and embrace me exactly the way I am and have no problem with the fact that I have ADHD. Some people just have learned to love and embrace that part of me. So, you know, like, I get it, but it's not a good feeling and it's not a healthy feeling. So, you know, when you feel like you can't show your true self because other people won't love you, that's their loss. Be your true self, because when you are your true self, the right people will love you exactly the way you are. Just fly harassing me. But anyway, I put fly paper up in here and yeah. Apparently I have new decorations in my house. It's fly art. Hey, if it works. But anyway, yeah, I mean I 100% get that because I felt like that. I don't know how many times in my life, pretty much most of my life, because of the ADHD, because of all the things that I've been through where people have actually literally told me that I cannot be loved because there's something wrong with me. A lot of people have told me that I can't be loved because there's something wrong with me. So when people tell you things like that, don't believe them. and they can fuck off. Because when people say that to you, it's not to benefit you. It's to make them feel less bad for being assholes, for treating you like crap because you aren't what they want you to be. But you aren't meant to be what other people want you to be. You're meant to be yourself. And if people don't like you the way you are as yourself, they aren't the people that need to be in your life. And, you know, you need to be yourself in order to be happy. And when you find yourself, either those people will learn to love you the way that you are, or you will find other people that will love you the way that you are. So don't ever feel like you need to hide yourself to make other people happy and make other people care about and love you. Because if they don't love you the way that you are, they're not the right people for you, and fuck them. Okay? This is very important. Very important. People don't love you the way they are, the way you are. They don't need to be a part of your life. You don't need to be friends with everybody. You don't need to you don't need to love everybody. You don't need to be loved by everybody. You need to be yourself. And I mean, yeah, do your best to get along with everybody when you can, but you know, be yourself, and you know, let the right people come to you. Let the people who are meant to be in your life come to you. And let the people who are already in your life who haven't learned to grasp who you are and accept who you are, if they're meant to be in your life, let them learn that by being yourself and making it clear that you're not going to be anything but yourself. I mean, I took a long time coming to that realization myself, even with my own family, and a long time getting the nerve and the guts to put my foot down, even with my family, with everyone that was ever in my life. Now, my family, I basically had to pretty much tell them, you know, love me for me, appreciate me for me, treat me with respect, talk to me with respect. You know, I don't want to cut them off, but I want to be treated right, you know, and I want to be loved. I deserve it. I need to be loved, and I deserve to be loved, and I shouldn't have to settle for less, and neither should you. So I put my foot down with my family, and they started treating me better. And with people that weren't related to me, I gave them the same ultimatum that I gave my family, only I was a little bit less nice about it. With them, they didn't get like several chances. They were told, and when they didn't comply, they were told off. And when they didn't comply after that, I cut them off. Never spoke to them again, because family's one thing, you know. You want your family in your life if you can have that. But you know, people that aren't related to you, that have spent your entire relationship with them, friendship or whatever, treating you like crap because you aren't what they want you to be, or they think they can take advantage of you or manipulate you, they don't need to be in your life. If you've already warned them to knock it off, or even if they lie to you constantly, if you've already told them to knock it off and they didn't knock it off and tried to manipulate you or flip out on you for wanting them to, then they've already made their choice. You asked them for respect, they didn't comply, they don't need to stay in your life. You know, just be yourself, and the right people will come to you. and the people you love, if they love you enough to appreciate you the way you are, then they will show you. What's that look for, cinnamon roll? Hey, what's the look for? What's the look for, pretty? Meow. Hi, Gwen. Okay, back to the book. This is a long chapter, so yeah. Don't be afraid of people rejecting you because they're not treating you right. If they're not accepting you the way that you are, they're not the ones that need to be rejecting you. It should be the other way around. This is just how it is. I'm sorry I'm not sugarcoating it, but people got to treat you right or they don't need to be in your life. It's just how it is. Anyway, I seemed locked in a battle with myself, and that battle frequently resulted in provocative behavior that made it very difficult for other people to be in my company. I hated myself and was paralyzed with the fear of being rejected. Although I might have looked tough on the outside, my heart felt weak and wounded, and I continued to build a sharp picket fence around it so that others, leave my book alone, others could not get close to me. I underwent many kinds of psychotherapy. I even tried psychoanalysis. I thought that was 2 words. It apparently is 1 word, and 1 word is really hard to read because it's a really long word. Like, oh, my arm! Thank you. I don't want nails in my arm while I'm reading, okay? I don't want nails in me. Please don't put your nails on me. But nothing seemed to work for me. It was as if my attitudes, my behavior, and my habits were locked in a vice or stuck in cement. I had convinced myself that I was incapable of changing and that I was doomed to a life of failure. This became my belief, and I succeeded in making myself right by continuing to see myself as a failure. Okay. I'm going to make another point. If you are being the best person you possibly can be, and you are doing everything in your power to be a good person and work as hard as you can to have a nice home and a nice life and a nice family and just be happy every day, you're not a failure. I feel like a failure every day because I can't function all that well. And my house is a freaking disaster because I can't properly clean it like a woman should be able to keep her house clean. It kind of upsets me because I'm OCD living in a messy house. And I can't stand it. But I can't do much about it because I'm sick all the time. So every time I get the energy to clean, I only get a little bit done and then I wear myself out and then I can't clean the rest. And it's very frustrating because it needs to be cleaned bad. But holy shit. Okay, I hope you guys didn't hear what's going on downstairs. Hey! No! There are people downstairs screaming. Hopefully you guys didn't hear it. And I'm sorry, Guinevere was just trying to paw the camera. Trying to knock down my tripod. That's why I said, hey, no. But anyway, there's a lot of things in my life that make me feel like a failure. I know I'm not a failure. I have to constantly tell myself every day that I'm not a failure, that I'm just doing what I can. And, you know, it's not my fault if I can't get done as much as I would personally like to. That it doesn't make me a failure that I can't get done what I need. Stop it. What I need to get done. I mean, but really the best you can do is just be as positive as with yourself and with the outside world and with your own thoughts and your own feelings as you possibly can. and that doesn't just help with mental health issues or just everyday life. It even helps with physical issues. Like I said, I have a lot of physical issues that make me feel like a failure. um at my age, I should not be as sick as I am. I should be able to do a lot more than I can. And people look at me, and instead of seeing the severely crippled person that I am, they see someone who, despite the fact that I'm almost in my 40s, they see somebody who looks like they're in their early 30s, because I think it's my height. I really do. I think it's my height because I'm really short. So people see somebody who they think is in their early 30s, and they think that I'm faking everything wrong with me. They look at me and they think I'm faking it. They think I'm making everything up, that I'm wearing my braces as props for them to feel bad. And they talk to me like um like I'm lazy, like I'm just one of those 20 somethings that don't want to get a job, don't want to work, don't want to clean their clothes, don't want to do anything for themselves. They act like I'm one of them. Like I'm just lazy and making excuses and making up things wrong with me so that I can not have to do those things. Um, they don't understand that most of my illnesses are not things that you can see. Because I'm not trapped in a bed 24/7. Because I refuse to be trapped in a bed 24/7, despite the fact that my illness is kind of most of the time trap me in a bed. Yeah, I do what I can all week long, but by the time I get home from doing one thing outside of the house, I'm stuck in bed for the rest of the day because I can't function. And people just don't understand that. So they see somebody that to them looks healthy, despite the fact that I wear braces and have to use a grocery cart to hold myself up because my walker won't go up and down the stairs. My walker is in storage at Sam's house because it's easier to fold up the cart that weighs a lot less and holds a lot more, taking it up and down the stairs, than a walker that is heavier and more awkward and doesn't hold even a quarter as much as the grocery cart does. They both hold me up the same, but one of them works better than the other. So because I walk around with a grocery cart and braces on my hands and a brace on my knee, but I don't look like I'm all that old, and I refuse to just give in to the shit that's wrong with me, everybody just assumes that there's nothing wrong with me and that I'm healthy and that I need to get up off my ass and stop being lazy and stop making excuses and get a job. I would have a job if I could do a job. If I could work, I would have a job. I liked working. I enjoyed working. I miss working. I know that I physically cannot work. I mean, if I spend an entire season not able to go to the places that I need to go to for the food that I need to survive, because my body doesn't work for an entire season, and then 2 of the other seasons out of the year, I struggle to get there, and then I'm stuck in bed the whole rest of the day after I come home from being there. If I can't go to a place for a couple of hours for a meal and then back without being stuck in bed for the rest of the day, how in the hell, and these are during the warmer months of spring and fall, how in the hell do people think I can manage to work a job? A job takes a lot more effort and a lot more hours than walking to the soup kitchen and back. I know what my body is and isn't capable of. And my body just isn't capable of working a job. In fact, I'm actually not even supposed to be going back and forth to the soup kitchen 3 times a week. And I would go every day, but my body can't handle every day. My body can barely handle the 3 days a week I go. And most of the days, it can't even handle that because sometimes I don't make it home in one piece. Sometimes I collapse before I get home, and I have to fight myself to be able to stand back up and keep moving to make it home. So when people at the soup kitchen judge me for being at the soup kitchen instead of at a job because I'm disabled, when I damn near kill myself to get there, it kind of makes me want to tell them to fuck off. And yet, I still sit there and smile and be polite. Despite the fact that they have little to no respect for me, despite the fact that I'm damn near killing myself to make it there. So, do I feel like a failure because I can't work a job? Do I feel like a failure because I can't keep my house clean? Do I feel like a failure that despite the fact that I'd really like to be awake all day long and get stuff done and not be stuck in bed, most of the time I'm either sleeping or can't move from the bed all day long? Yeah. Yeah, that makes me feel like a failure. That makes me feel like a complete and total 100% failure. So when people judge me for it, it makes me feel even more like a failure. So I get feeling like a failure. I get it. I know I went on a rant and a tangent. I'm sorry. Okay. This became my belief, and I succeeded in making myself right by continuing to see myself as a failure. This resulted in my being unforgiving to myself and others. As I look back on it, I can now see that my negative and fearful attitudes about myself penetrating every area of my life. Although I attained great success professionally as the world measured it, my inner life was anything but successful, filled with conflict and chaos. My attitudes were like dark shadows that followed me everywhere I went, playing havoc with my schooling and sports and in my role as a parent and spouse. These attitudes played a painful role in my relationships with legal professionals during my divorce proceedings. My fear, along with my unforgiving and unloving attitudes towards myself, seemed unshakable. I was scared of love and intimacy. I was afraid that I would be hurt. With thunderclouds of guilt, I vacillated between finding fault with myself and finding fault with others. I seemed to be most unsuccessful whenever I tried to control people and events around me. Well, you can't control other people. You can't control the events around you. You can only control what you do and how you feel. You can defend yourself from the events around you, and you can defend yourself from the people who are making choices around you, and you can control how you feel about that. But beyond that, you don't have any control over anything in your life but you, and maybe your pets. I mean, you I mean, I get where it's making this point, But again, you do still need to be able to be aware of your surroundings and protective of yourself when it comes to things that could endanger you in your surroundings. But yes, when it comes to people around you and the things going on around you, and trying to control the people around you and the things around you, you have no control over that. You don't. You don't have control over the other people and what they do or say or feel or think. You don't have any control over the way they treat you. You have control over the way you treat them and hope that that makes them choose to treat you with respect. But whether or not they choose to treat you with respect based on you treating them with respect, that's kind of up to them. You know? Like, you don't have control over anything outside of you. And that's what this is trying, the point that this is trying to make. It's basically trying to make the point that you can't control anything, so the only thing you can control is your mind, how you see and think and feel about things. But I mean, I agree with that to some point. You do have control over how you feel about situations, but you also have control over how you react to the people around you. You can try your best to treat others with the kind of respect that you want them to treat you. If they don't react in kind, you have every right to feel disrespected by it. And personally, if someone's disrespecting me for no reason, and people are showing up at my house threatening me, and following me around town, stalking me, and leaving parts from my scooter on my porch, and harassing me at the soup kitchen, I'm going to feel exactly the way I've been feeling lately about that situation. Going out of their way to harass me. It's getting to be about freaking enough. And every day, despite the fact that they tried to kill me, every day, I smile at them. I say polite words to them. I am kind and courteous to them, despite the fact that they admittedly tried to murder me and have been stalking me and keep showing up at my house threatening me. I am still nice to them, and yet everyone at the soup kitchen is kind of acting like I'm the one at fault for their behavior. Because I'm trying to diffuse the situation by being kind and polite. Seems like no matter what I do, I'm an asshole, right? In that situation. But what can you do? What can you do? You can't control... I can't control the way the soup kitchen employees view me as a person, or how I'm dealing with the situation when they only know half of the facts and don't really want to see anything but what they feel like seeing. They see them attacking me verbally, but then for some reason in their minds, because I was polite to them, somehow I had it coming. Somehow it was me because I was polite to them. Somehow it was my fault because I was polite to them. That I shouldn't have been speaking to them in the first place. That I deserved to be attacked because I spoke to them in the first place. Because, yeah, that's how it works. I mean, I don't have any control over how the employees at the soup kitchen react or feel or think. I don't have any control over the people terrorizing me inside and outside of the soup kitchen treat me. I have no control over that. I have control over how I feel, how I think, and I feel that my thoughts and my feelings are 100% correct in the situation, that none of it is right, none of it is fair, and I shouldn't be treated like that by any of them. But anyway, you know, how I feel is one thing. My actions towards the situation, I could be a bitch about it. I could go in there and be like, look, I don't like the way anyone here is treating me about this situation. I don't like you guys being assholes at that table. I don't like you guys pretty much treating me like it's somehow my fault. I could do that. I could. It would be the wrong thing to do. It would make me feel better for like a minute, but it wouldn't be the right thing to do. And it wouldn't make me feel better in the long run because my ass would get kicked out for making a scene. And it wouldn't be the right way to deal with the situation. The right way to deal with the situation is exactly what I did last time I was there, which is kind of something I was told to do, and I still got looks from the staff like somehow that was the wrong thing to do, even though that's what I was told to do. And I could hear them, despite the fact that half of the time I had music running in my headphones, I could hear them part of the time, because part of the time I didn't actually have the headphones turned on, but I could hear them talking about me like somehow I was being an asshole for wearing my headphones. I could not wear my headphones and politely respond to basically randomly things that I hear that I feel somehow I can help in some way, which is just how I am. Someone says something, I hear it, and I feel like I can help them, so I comment. Or I can wear headphones and then get attacked for it, and then or I could wear my headphones and avoid conversation with people who I know are going to verbally attack me for trying to be kind and polite to them, which is what I did. I put on my headphones and I ignored them the whole time they were there. I did my best to just focus on me and my book and my music and my food and just do me. And yet, somehow, you can't please everybody. And apparently, I can't please anybody. So, apparently, even though I did what I was suggested to do, which I had finally decided was just because the reason why I didn't put my headphones on before to deal with the situation is because I didn't want the people who do talk to me to think that I don't want to talk to them. Like, I didn't want them to feel like I was mad at them or trying to avoid them. I wanted to avoid the people who have been harassing me for over a year, who have been stalking me and following me around and showing up at my house to threaten me and taking parts off of my scooter trying to kill me. I wanted to not deal with that. But I felt like putting on my headphones would just make everybody else think that I want nothing to do with them. So that's why I avoided it for so long. So I put my headphones on like I was suggested to do because I've gotten to the point where I'm done being attacked for being nice and not having my headphones on. So I put my headphones on and I can hear staff acting like I'm an asshole for putting on headphones. I can see and hear the women from the table who like to start shit with me throwing a bitch fit because I had headphones on. They bitch when I don't. They bitch when I do. You can't win. No matter what you do, you can't win. But, I mean, you can't please everybody. You can only do what the best you can with your own reactions to things. I mean, you can't make everybody like you. You can't make everyone be nice to you. You can't make everyone get along with you and be polite to you. All you can do is your best to be polite to them and try to get along with them. And if you have to, avoid them. You can't control anybody but yourself. So, I mean, you work around the situations that you can. Just do your best with every situation. You know, like, what else can you do? Um, that's all you can do. But, you know, seems like no matter what I do there, somehow I'm always the asshole for it. I don't know. But I'm trying. I'm still trying, and I'm going to keep trying. Figure out a way to just get along with everybody. You know? Because I need the food. If I didn't need the food, I'd be like, screw this. I don't deserve this. Screw it. But I need the food. So, do your best to get along with everybody. It's all you can do. It's all you can do. Just do your best. But anyway, my attitudes were like dark shadows that followed me everywhere I went, playing havoc with my school. Oh, yeah, I already read that part. Where was I? I was scared of. Oh, yeah, I read that part too. Oh, okay. So many of my thoughts were centered on the idea that I was a victim of things outside of myself. Oh, sometimes you are a victim. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you think you're a victim and you're not. But sometimes you are. In this situation, I kind of feel like I am a victim, but at the same time, I feel like I'm not a victim because it's not like I'm being. I mean, they did try to kill me, and they are kind of showing up at my house threatening me and following me around town. But they didn't put hands on me. They didn't. I mean, they're women, so I don't see how they would try to rape me. But I mean, it's not like I haven't been attempted raped by a woman before. But that's a story for another time. But I mean, the verbal stuff, the shit happening at the soup kitchen that the people at the soup kitchen are saying, that stuff, when it's taken out of context of everything else that they're doing, that stuff kind of looks like, if it kind of looks like, hey, it's just frustrating, ignore it. And if that was all that was going on, then I wouldn't feel like a victim. I'd feel a little bit frustrated, and I'd be like, why the hell are these women just being bitches to me all the time? Whatever. Grow up, get over it, stop being psycho, and just kind of move on with my life. But the fact that they tried to kill me, that they took parts off of my scooter in an attempt to kill me, and then left the parts on my porch with a note telling me not to come back, and then showed up at my house to threaten me and following me around freaking town. The fact that it has escalated to them literally stalking me and harassing me outside of the soup kitchen, the fact that they've gone that far, the fact that they would take parts off of my scooter to try to harm me, if it was words, that I can deal with. Words. Disrespect, rudeness. Those are things that I can handle. Those are things that I can just be like, whatever. Grow up. Leave me alone. Whatever. But the fact that they are terrorizing me outside of the soup kitchen, at my own home, and around town, that's what makes me feel like a victim. And I have every right to feel like a victim because they tried to murder me and got away with it. And are terrorizing me after trying to murder me and got away with it. And still getting away with it. And somehow I'm being seen as the problem, even though they're outside of the place that everybody seems to think that I'm the one doing wrong. They're the ones terrorizing me. They're the ones showing up at my house. They're the ones following me around town. They're the ones threatening me outside of the soup kitchen. If it was just words and disrespect and rudeness at the soup kitchen, I'd have let it go the minute that it started. People disrespect me all the time. I don't care. I move on. I don't like it, but I don't care. I don't like it, but I don't care. I move on. Words are just words. But when you try to murder somebody and you follow them around town and you show up at their house and you threaten them and you take parts off their transportation, and that goes a lot further beyond words, and in no way, shape, or form does that make me the bad guy. In no way, shape, or form does it make me the one in the wrong for feeling like the victim. And the fact that no one, not the police, not the soup kitchen, and not anybody else will do anything about it, and they're all acting like it's somehow my problem, like I'm somehow the one in the wrong, that makes me feel like I'm a victim to them also. I mean, yeah, there ain't much that the soup kitchen can do about someone terrorizing me at my home, but the fact that it was reported to them, if they're terrorizing me at my home and I report it to them, they should have already banned them from the soup kitchen. That's their job, to make sure everyone there is safe. If these people are showing up at my house, threatening me and following me around town and taking parts off of my transportation and leaving the parts at my house as a threat and threatening me more and following me more and showing up at my house more, the fact that I reported it to them, they should have already, at the very least, they should have banned them. Because that psychotic behavior not only is it not safe for me, but it's not safe for the other people that go to the soup kitchen. Because what if they decide they have a hate on for somebody else there and start doing the same stuff to them? What if somebody else happens to piss them off and they start following them home and terrorizing them and trying to murder them? I mean, stop it before it escalates to not just me, but someone else. But again, I can't do anything about what the soup kitchen does or how they feel or what they think of what their job actually is and who's the problem. I can't do anything about that. My job isn't to control them. My job is to do my best to control me, and that's all I can really do. All I can do is be as polite and kind and respectful and avoidance as much as possible. But anyway, I realize now that I was not alone in how I looked at the world. Of course not. There are many others who go through life with feelings just like the ones I described. Well, yeah, some people do feel like victims over words. Over just words. With people that they could just walk away from. I mean, I get it if it's somebody you can't walk away from, like if it's a family member and they say things repetitively that they know hurt you and they never stop. That's when you stand up for yourself and be like, look, I love you, but knock it off. You can't talk to me that way. Which is something I did recently. But if it's someone that isn't a family member or a serious part of your life, I mean, yeah, I do have to see them 3 times a week, but, you know, I don't have to be friends with them. I don't have to go to family holidays with them. They're just disrespectful women at the soup kitchen. They're like the elderly clique of, the cheerleader table in high school where all the stuck up girls who hated anyone who wasn't popular, who did everything in their power to treat anyone who wasn't popular like they were shit, terrorizing anyone who wasn't popular, to the point where some of the unpopular kids either tried or succeeded in committing suicide because of the women at that table. This is the elderly version of that cheerleader table. Anyone they decide they don't like, they terrorize until either they kill them or the people kill themselves. And I've heard from other people there that they've actually succeeded, and some people actually committing suicide because of these women terrorizing them. But these people were too afraid to come forward and mention it to the staff because obviously the staff don't do anything about it. So, but I mean, they're even rude to the staff. The one woman, every time she's there, every time a staff member talks to her, the same staff member, well, no, not the same staff member. It's always a guy. And it's not always the same guy. It's always a guy. But one of the guys that works there will walk up to her and they'll say something funny or just try to be nice. They'll just walk up to this one woman at that table and they'll try to say something nice or say something funny, and she gets this serious attitude with them and flips out on them and glares at them. And I'm like sitting there going, what in the hell? They are trying to be nice to you. What is your deal? She's attacking the staff for being nice to her. But I'm nice to them. I get attacked for it. And somehow I'm the asshole. I'm nice to the staff. One of the guys comes up to me and that works there and says something nice or something funny to me, and I usually laugh and joke around and have something funny to say back. Because why not? Why look for a reason to start shit? When someone is trying to be nice to you or someone is trying to joke around with you, even if you're having a bad day, do your best to give them a good day in return. Be your best self. Turn to the person trying to make you smile and try to make them smile in return. Be polite. I do my best every day. I mean, even when I'm when I'm at the store, if I see somebody that and I like their hair, or sometimes I don't like their hair and I'm just saying it to be polite, but because some people have some really weird hair. but if someone catches you staring at their hair, you're not gonna be like, your hair's weird. You don't want to ruin their day. No, you're gonna be like, hey, I like your hair. And trying to make them have a better day, because and sometimes I actually really do like the person's hair. One time I said to somebody I liked their hair because I liked the colors of it. I just didn't really like that the colors were in their hair, but it's not my hair. It's not like they did it to my hair. So why would I be rude and disrespectful about it, So So I walk by and I see the pretty colors in their hair, and I'm like, oh, I love your hair. What I meant to say was I love the colors in your hair, but I didn't want to be rude by like implying that it was only the colors that I liked and not that they were in the person's hair. So, you know, I try to always be as polite and as kind as possible. I see somebody's shoes and I happen to like their shoes. Hey, I love your shoes, or whatever they happen to have that I think looks cool. You know, I always try to find some way to compliment somebody or some way to brighten someone's day. I look for every opportunity to put a smile on someone's face, even if I'm having a bad day, even if I'm in a bad mood, even if I don't like them, even if I hate them with fiery passion. I try my best to make everyone smile because I think everyone has the right to have a good day, even if they're having a bad day. I think that I should do the best I can to try to make sure that someone is having a good day when they're not having a good day. You know, even if they are having a good day, try to make their day a little bit brighter. Even if I don't like that person, even if I really, really, really don't like that person, I still do my best to try to make them smile because that's the kind of person I am. It's not that I want to be their friend. It's not that I want them to like me. It's just I want to be a kind person. I want them to find happiness and peace in themselves, because if they can find happiness and peace in themselves, then maybe they can treat others better. And the more happiness and care and peace you project to other people, the more you'll get it back in return. And yeah, maybe sometimes you'll get people like that no matter how nice you are to them, they're going to look for reasons to start shit with you no matter what. But like I said, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't do anything about them. All you can do is try to be the better you. Be the best you that you can be. You know? And I was going to read this whole chapter, but apparently all we got was a page and a half. And I'm already past an hour of video time. So we will get to the different sections of this chapter. And it's a long chapter, so I'm just going to do it in sections. Do one section at a time. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And hopefully you guys... Oh, there's my bookmark. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I hope I didn't rant too much. I'm kind of in a mood about the shit with the soup kitchen. I'm kind of frustrated about it because I feel, and I don't know how they get the idea that I want to be friends with everybody, or that I expect everybody to like me or be friends with me, because I don't even want to be friends with everybody. I don't even expect everybody to like me. I just expect me to be the better person. So, I mean, somehow they got it in their heads that I want everyone to be my friend and expect everybody to be my friend, and that's just not the case. I just expect me to be the best person I can be. You know, I do my best to get along with everybody else because that's just who I am. I want my inner peace, and I don't get my inner peace by being a bitch to people, no matter how much I dislike them. So, you know, people that I feel need to stay away from me, I do my best to politely ask them to leave me alone, as politely as I can. I try to find ways to say it without actually saying, leave me alone. Last time I actually had to go as far as to be like, please, leave me be. Please, leave me be. Please, leave me be. Please, leave me be. To someone who just would not take I don't want you talking to me because you creep me out as an answer. I mean, this dude kind of was stalking me for a couple of days, so I had to make it clear that I wanted him to leave me alone, and I was still trying to be polite about it by saying, leave me be. But that's the nicest way I could say it. I could have been like, get the fuck away from me, which is what I really wanted to say, but I do my best to be polite. I do my best to be polite to everybody. Because really, that's how I want to talk to people that won't leave me alone there. That's how I would prefer to talk to people, because it gets the point across. But I mean, it's just not the way to treat people, you know. Yeah, when the creepers just won't leave me alone as an answer, you know, and they keep trying to argue with you to get their way so that they can sit by you and stare at you and talk to you about how they went to prison for rape and molestation and incest and wonder why you don't want them anywhere near you and then argue with you that somehow they have to take the seat of the person who was already sitting by you and is coming back, and you keep telling them the seat's taken and they just won't take a hint. They have to be told 5 or 6 times there was someone sitting there. And they're like, well, I was sitting there earlier. Yeah, but you moved. And they're sitting there. And they still have their stuff sitting there. So what makes you think you can just take their seat when I don't even want you sitting there because you creep me out? I mean, I didn't actually tell the dude that he creeps me out, but the fact that I've told him I don't want to talk to him and to leave me alone 12 different times now, it should be pretty clear that I don't want him talking to me because he creeps me out. But yeah. But yeah, even with people like that, I still try to do my best to be as polite as possible. Because nobody seems to understand when I do flip out on somebody and end up having to go as far as to be like, look, you creep me out, leave me the fuck alone. They don't understand why they're being told off, because they're only seeing part of the situation, and the part of the situation they see is me flipping out on them, so somehow I become the asshole. Like the creeper who wouldn't take no for an answer on where I live. Just kept asking me where I live and where I live and where I live and where I live and where I live, and then got mad because I wouldn't tell him where I live. Because I politely told him, look, I'm not going to tell someone I don't know where I live. That was the politest way I could say it. I could have been like, look, the fact that you keep asking me where I live and won't take a hint that I'm not going to tell you where I live tells me that you're trying to find out where I live so you can do something to me. Leave me the fuck alone, you creeper, before I call the cops. Could have said that. I could have. But no, I was all polite, and I was like, I'm not going to tell someone I don't know where I live. And yet I became the asshole because I said, I'm not going to tell someone I don't know where I live. Apparently, you're not allowed to be safe there. Apparently, if you tell somebody that you don't want them bothering you, or you don't want them to know where you live, somehow you turn out to be the asshole and a troublemaker looking for trouble. I think it's completely understandable to not want people who are creeping me out sitting by me, trying harder to creep me out and not taking no for an answer. I think it's perfectly understandable for me not to want to tell someone I don't know who's staring at me weird and keeps asking me where I live, I think it's perfectly understandable for me to not want to tell that person where I live. Because a woman's got to be safe. Woman's got to be safe. But anyway, it's getting to an hour and a half on this video. And I've been ranting about this the whole video. And I'm not feeling much better about it yet. It's just making me feel dizzy and making me feel more and more frustrated about it. Because I can't do anything about it. I can't change it. All I can really do is just go and be polite and avoid the people that I don't feel safe around as much as I can, and be as polite as I can. That's all I can do. You know, it is the most unsafe place that it is the place. Okay, I'm saying this wrong. It is the only place in town where I feel this unsafe. Now, I've gone all over town on foot and with my scooter. And I've been sexually harassed. I've been followed home. I've been stalked. I've been creeped on. I've been all kinds of shit. But this is the only place where people seem to seek me out, to creep on me, and stalk me, and terrorize me, and sexually harass me, and follow me home from there to do all of those things outside of the place. They do it there. They do it in the parking lot. They do it after I leave. And it never ends. And they all the people who do these things to me come from there. All of them. But somehow it's me. Somehow it's me. It's not me. It's not me. I'm doing my best to be polite, and then I'm being stalked and followed home and harassed and sexually harassed and threatened and terrorized and attempted murdered for being polite. Honestly, I think I'm starting to really genuinely think that if I were less polite and more of a bitch and actually said the things that I want to say that would get me kicked out, I think that none of these things would be happening because they would have taken the hint to leave me the fuck alone. I honestly think that if I had been like, look, you bitches, leave me the fuck alone, I'm not the person you want to fuck with, I think they would have left me alone a long fucking time ago. And I honestly think that the creepers at the soup kitchen, the creepy guys, I think that if I tell them off with the full force of vehementance, I don't know how to pronounce that right, that I feel towards sex offenders, if I were to react exactly the way that I do outside of the soup kitchen to creepers, to these people in the soup kitchen, they wouldn't keep creeping on me in the soup kitchen, and they wouldn't keep trying to follow me home from the soup kitchen. If I were as much of a bitch to them as I am outside of the place, as I'd like to be inside the place, they would probably have already left me alone. But I don't talk to people there in that way because I know that if I did, I'd get my ass kicked out and I wouldn't have food. So I have to be polite to the people who are trying to stalk me, try to follow me home so they can do shit to me. Because I need to be able to have that place to go to eat. But I mean, you can only act in a certain way in places like that. If you make a scene in a place like that, you get kicked out. Even if that scene was 100% caused by the other person refusing to take a hint to leave you alone. And when you report it and staff doesn't do anything about it, and you report it and you report it and you report it and nobody does anything about it, eventually you're going to end up having to make a scene because they're not doing anything to protect you. Oh, buddy, your scabs are getting bad. But I don't know. I don't know what to do because the only thing I can do is be polite there. That's all I can do. That's the only thing I can do there. Without getting kicked out, that's all I can do is be polite. If I stand up for myself, I'm going to get kicked out. So I be polite there. And then I hope to God the people don't start following me home, which they keep doing anyway. And it's not like I can pull my gun out on them on the way home when they have a car following me home because they're on the road, I'm on the sidewalk. And sometimes when I'm on the sidewalk and they're on the road, I don't even notice that they're following me home until I'm home. It's weird, it's creepy, and it's got to stop. But there's nothing I can do about it but be polite in there and keep myself from getting kicked out. You know? And defend myself while I'm home. Or defend myself on my way home. Just defend myself when I'm outside of my home or whatever I have to do. It's just this the safety of my life outside of the soup kitchen is becoming increasingly unsafe because of the soup kitchen, because they aren't doing their job to keep me safe there. I mean, I reported the guy that wouldn't take no for an answer on leaving me alone, and the office manager's like, well, at least he chose to leave you alone. But you didn't listen. You didn't listen though. I had to tell him several times on 2 different occasions on 2 separate days to leave me alone, and both times it took 6 times of telling him to leave me alone before he finally decided to leave me alone. It shouldn't have to take more than once of me telling a person to leave me alone before they make the choice to leave me alone. And if I have to tell a person more than once, then that's where it's escalated to the point where it's their job to tell that person not to come back. It is their job. And yet, somehow, when I report things, they either don't do anything about it or they act like I'm the problem. I know they want it to be a safe place for everybody to come to eat, but and make it so everyone who needs to eat can come and eat. But if you're not keeping the people there safe, you're not doing your job to keep people safe when they report an issue to you, and you don't do anything about it, and you act like that person is in the wrong for even bringing it up to you, like somehow they're the problem because they came to you and told you about the situation. I shouldn't have to feel unsafe going there to eat. I shouldn't have to feel unsafe leaving there because I went there to eat. I shouldn't have to feel unsafe leaving my home or coming home to my home because I went there to eat. And the people that they should have kicked out have started following me home. That I reported to them and they didn't do anything about. And I'm just saying, I deserve to feel safe. Everybody deserves to feel safe, and they're just not doing their job to keep people safe there. They're telling me that there's nothing they can do, but yeah, there is something you can do. There is. If I tell you that somebody's coming to my home harassing me and terrorizing me, and they're clearly terrorizing me in the soup kitchen there, if I report it to you, you can kick them out. I mean, that's the least you should do. If they're taking parts off of my scooter and threatening me, the cops should have been called. I called the cops and they refused to do anything about it because I don't have the people's last names and I don't have their addresses, and some of them I don't even know their first names. So the cops won't do anything for me because I don't have the information that the soup kitchen has. But they won't do anything about it because they want to be friendly with everybody no matter how bad they are. I'm the problem for wanting to feel safe, apparently. I don't know. But it's been an hour and a half of this video now, and not really getting anywhere. So hopefully my venting hasn't frustrated you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I don't know. Just do the best you can. Be as positive as you can. Be as kind and polite to others as you can. And it's all you can do. It's all I can do, you know. Just, it's how I survive, you know. It's how I survive. How I survived, you know, being with my ex who beat, raped, and tried to kill me. You know, I would have actually ended up dead had I not been nice to him every day. He would have already actually killed me. That's how I got through it. That's why it's my go-to to be nice and kind and polite to people who terrorize me. Because it kept me alive when I was in a situation where the only thing I could do to keep the situation from getting worse was to be nice, be polite, kiss ass. It's the only thing I could do to keep it from escalating into my death. So, really, all you can do is be polite to others, be kind to others, and hope that they treat you with the kindness and respect and politeness that you give them in return. You know, think as positive thoughts as you can. Think positive thoughts about yourself. That is the most important. Think positive thoughts about yourself. Think positive thoughts about your life. Think positive thoughts about the things that you have in your life. Do your best to see the beautiful things that you have. I mean, even on days where I'm focusing on the things that are frustrating to me that I just don't know how to deal with and are just wearing me out just thinking about it because I just don't know what to do other than what I've already been doing, just being kind and polite and avoidance. I'm already doing it and it's not doing me any good. So all I can do is keep persisting. That's all I can do. So I'm kind of stuck in a rut of repeating the same behavior, hoping for different results, knowing I'm not going to be getting different results, which is the actual definition of insanity. The genuine, actual definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, hoping for different results. But it's all I can do. It's the only avenue I have ahead of me. I could stop going and then not be able to afford food. Or I could keep going and keep trying to be as polite as I can and avoid as much as I can and just deal. It's all I can do. It's frustrating. It wears me out, and I don't know how to deal with it other than that, but it's all I can do. But hey, but you know, I know I have good things in my life. That may be a frustrating part of my life. But it is free food. It is free food. That I do need to be able to afford to eat. But I have good things in my life too. I know what I have. I have my friends, I have my family, I have my cats, I have Sam. You know, I have a lot of good things. And I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach. I may not have my insulin right now, but you know, I'm working on that. June will get here eventually. It'll get here. And then I will have insulin. Because I'll have a doctor to give me insulin. I mean, I still have some. I'm still working my meals around the insulin to try to make it last, which is not safe. If you are not stuck without a doctor to provide you insulin, don't do that. Please be safe with your insulin. Just take your insulin when you need it. Make sure your doctor fills it when you need it. You know, just be safe with your insulin. Don't skip meals like I've been having to. The only reason I'm doing this is because I need my insulin to last for several months with no way to see a doctor until June. And this has been since December. So I'm trying to make like what insulin I've had since December. That some of it my mom has dropped off to me. Thank you, Mom. I really appreciate it. You're keeping me alive. You know, I'm trying to make it last until June. Had I not been skipping meals every other day in order to make sure my insulin lasts, I wouldn't still have insulin. It'd be gone already a long time ago. But the fact that I've been skipping meals every other day to make it last is the only reason I still have insulin. It's the only reason. I don't know if I'll make it to June. I don't know if it'll still hold out until June, but I'm doing my best. But don't do that, okay? Don't skip meals to avoid taking your insulin. Don't do it. It's not safe. Just don't do it. Take your insulin, eat your food, take care of yourself. I'm only doing it because I don't have a choice because I'm several months out without a doctor to fill my insulin. So it's either I do that and I make it last, or I run out of insulin entirely and not have any insulin for several months. So skipping a meal every other day is better than my sugar going too high, so high that I go into a coma, or not being able to eat at all for like a month. So, so better safe than sorry for me in this situation, you know. I'm working around my insulin, which is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to work your insulin around your sugar. You're supposed to take your insulin based on how high your sugar is. But I'm working my food intake around my insulin, which is how the doctors tell you to do it, but they don't tell you to skip meals every other day to do it. But seeing as how this size container is how much food intake I eat in an entire fucking day. 1 day of food. 1 day of food. This is how much I eat in a day. I've explained this to the diabetic nurse and to my doctor before he discontinued me as a patient. I'm eating a lot more a day now because I'm eating for 2 days worth of food. because I'm not able to eat every day, or else my sugar will jump sky high into the 500s, 600s. But when I was eating every day, this is how much food I would eat a day, and they were telling me I was eating too much. You're supposed to eat more than this worth a meal, of one meal, 3 times a day in order to survive. This is not even big enough to be a full meal for a 3 times a day meal. This was my one, this size of food was my one meal for an entire day, for the whole day. And they were telling me I was eating too much and that I needed to eat less. And would not raise my insulin based on the fact that was all I was eating a day. I mean, not specifically what was originally in this container, because I'm just using this as a size example. What was in this container was like a dessert I ate a few days ago. My sugar was low, so I don't eat dessert unless my sugar is low or unless it's sugar-free. So, or unless I'm with somebody that insists that I need to eat some dessert or eat more, or just, yeah. Let's just say I ate a lot more junk on Christmas because I was encouraged to than I normally would have ate, because my mom and my stepdad insisted that I deserved to have dessert too, which was nice of them. It made me feel pretty good, despite the fact that I'd been kind of kicking my ass on how I was eating, because the doctor kept telling me, "You're eating too much," and I'm like, "But I'm not even eating enough to make a whole meal for one meal." And that's my one meal for the whole day. And then I'd show him exactly size comparison, how much I was eating for an entire day. And he would still tell me, you're eating too much. You need to cut down on your carbs. And I'm like, how can I cut down on my carbs when I'm not even eating enough carbs to stay alive? No matter what I do, I can't win. So anyway, I'm sorry about the nonstop venting throughout this entire video. I needed it today. But anyway, I'll just keep going through sections of this chapter, because it kind of seems to be in sections anyway. Like the one I read to you guys was Resistance to Change, and the next one is A Course in Miracles, and it seems to pretty much all be in different sections. So, it's not like one full chapter with paragraph and paragraph and paragraph. It seems to be all in just sections. So I think I'm just going to do that, because it's like way too long to get into one video, and it's getting to be a 2-hour long video because of my venting now. But anyway, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'm sorry for the venting, and I hope you like the video, and if you guys have any advice, please feel free to drop it down in the comments, because honestly, I could definitely use the advice of what to do to deal with this situation. Cops won't do anything. Soup Kitchen won't do anything. And apparently I have to kiss everybody's ass in order to stay there for food. So it seems like even I can't do anything. So please feel free to throw me some suggestions on what to do in the comments. If you want to suggest things that you think I really shouldn't do, but know that I would love to do and say if I could down in the comments, feel free. It'll probably make me laugh, and we'll probably joke around about it and later and be like, hey, yeah, blah blah. Yeah, if only I could do that, right? But yeah, like, Sam made some suggestions the other day, that were kind of funny and meant to cheer me up, about it. But anyway, feel free to throw some either serious suggestions in the comments, or you know, comments to try to boost my spirits. Whatever you feel would is something you would want to say, feel free, because the only bad comments are negative comments, okay? As long as you're nice to me, we'll all get along. But anyway, I hope you guys like the video, and I'm sorry I keep apologizing and I keep just ranting on and 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 on. I really needed it. I'm just getting more and more and more dizzy because it's warm in here and it's a frustrating situation. And as you guys can see, my face is starting to turn red, so I'm putting myself in a flare even thinking about it. This is what they call a butterfly rash. You get it when you have lupus. It turns your nose, the bridge of your nose, a little bit red, and your cheeks like super, super, super flaming red like they're getting right now. All weekend long, last weekend, my face had turned so red that it was like my cheeks were purple. I'm not kidding. My cheeks got so red they were purple from the butterfly rash, from the stress. And I had 42 seizures over the weekend, trying to not freak out about the fact that I thought that I was going to get kicked out of the soup kitchen because I went off on the ladies who had been harassing me because I got sick of it and I was having a painful day and I couldn't take it anymore. So I went off on them, and the staff kind of acted like I was kind of going to get kicked out. So I was kind of freaking out the whole weekend thinking I was going to get kicked out, for the fact that these women have been terrorizing me for over a year now. So, all my hair's been falling out. My face turned purple from butterfly rash, and I'd had 42 seizures over the weekend over the stress of these women and the way the soup kitchen will not deal with it. I mean, I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions, even like I said, even funny suggestions to help me deal with it, even whether it's physically or mentally deal with it, feel free. It'll help. Any comment you make, as long as it's not negatively towards me, should help. And I'll appreciate it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And I think I'm not going to put anything on this video except for the tags. I don't think I'm even going to put the header video because it's already 2 hours long. And y'all don't like long videos. But anyway, have a good day. I'll try to do better in the next one. I'll try to feel better in the next one. Cross our fingers and hope. Because apparently even putting on headphones, no matter what I do, I can't win. What can you do? Let's hope for better days ahead. Better days ahead. Positive thinking. Positive thinking. Better days ahead. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.